Hello everyone, today we're going to go over this quick tutorial for glitter ombre, so let's get started. There are multiple different types of brushes you can use for a glitter ombre. This particular one from Sparkle & Co. is very popular, and it is a thin fan brush, as you can see. I personally prefer a much denser brush. This one was an old makeup brush that I pulled out of my makeup bag, and so was this one, which is a little bit fluffier and not quite as dense. It really just depends on personal preference, so just decide which works best for you after trying this a couple of times. I also wanted to take a moment and talk about your grip when you're holding the makeup brush. Instead of holding it underhand like you would a silverware utensil, I actually recommend you hold it overhand like you would a drumstick. That way it affords you a little bit more control so that you can easily tap the dip powder off of the brush with your pointer finger. I also recommend that you use the makeup brush to scoop the dip powder onto it so that you can lightly tap and gently have those glitters fall off the brush and onto the nail. After you've finished your normal dip powder process and you're ready to do your glitter ombre, use the number 2 base bond to make sure you cover your entire nail, getting really good coverage, especially around the cuticle line. Working quickly, turn your hand around and angle your finger down toward your palm. Next, scoop up some glitter dip with your brush and hold it toward the cuticle line while tapping the dip powder onto your nail. While you're doing this, move your nail from side to side to ensure that your side walls are evenly coated as well as the cuticle line. Since we're using the angle of our finger to our advantage, it should make sure that the smaller glitters fall toward the tip of the nail, creating that perfect faded look. In order to tap off the excess, hold your finger straight up, and as always, use a toothpick or an orange stick to scrape off any excess dip powder from the cuticle line. I would note that if you're trying to create this look so that it goes in the opposite direction, where the ombre starts at the tip and goes toward the cuticle line, simply hold the back of your hand toward your face and angle your fingertips up at about a 45-degree angle, and follow this exact same process. After you're finished, make sure you use a fluffy brush to dust off any excess dip powder prior to moving on to the final dip. For the final dip, we're going to do a coat of clear powder. Once again, use your base bond to coat the nail entirely, and then I recommend using a cuticle pusher, small spoon, or another similar tool to pour the clear dip powder over the ombre look we've just created. In doing this, you'll make sure that you don't contaminate your clear dip powder with any glitters that may be left over and aren't fully adhered to the nail. Keep in mind that by taking this final step, you're making sure that the glitter pigment is protected from any buffing, filing, and shaping, as well as smoothing out the entire nail from any of the chunky glitters. Once your final coat is dry and you've dusted off any excess dip powder, use Solidify and continue with your normal filing, buffing, and shaping process. After you're done buffing and have thoroughly washed your hands, go ahead in with your second coat of Solidify. Once the Solidify has had time to dry, you can go ahead and finish your manicure just like you normally would with 2 coats of Glossy Coat. Don't forget to finish up with cuticle oil, and once you're done with that, the manicure is all finished. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this tutorial was helpful. As always, let me know if you have any questions, and happy dipping!